Welcome everyone. This is Carl here, and today I'm very excited to bring you the final part of this project. Previously, I was going to release 5 videos, but I really would like to finish this project as soon as possible. That's why I have decided to merge the final 2 parts together. We discussed racism as well as some potential conflicts at workplace or with friends. To be honest, those episodes were sort of dark and negative because even though some people think it's still a good episode, I still think sometimes it's kind of just highlighting the negative parts of our society, and I really would like to brighten up the mood a little bit more. That's why in today's video, I would like to bring you something more constructive. In the first part, our participants will share something interesting about the Chinese culture, the Chinese community, or the country itself, or just in general something they would like to clarify for some of the misunderstanding people may have, or just in general some messages they would like to send to our Australian friends. In the second half, they will share what they think on us as community members can do in order to contribute to a healthier development of the Australia-China relationship. So without further ado, let's get to the video.
When I was in Cambodia, I met, because I was by myself, and when I was traveling, I met some people. They are also who traveling by themselves from Germany, I think, and then the other from France. Like 3 of us, we visiting the Angkor Wat in Cambodia. We randomly talk about what's the impression for Chinese people. The German guy said they know all Chinese people eat dogs. In my city, I don't think we eat dogs. Like never. I never heard about it. Just explore more Chinese culture. And for me, I also want to explore when I come back to China. I want to travel in different cities, come to China and then explore more cultural. I think they will learn more about that.
Attributing a house price rise to Chinese buyers is unfair, and that's not correct economically as well. So for those who believe it's the Chinese people who have pushed up the price of properties, you are wrong. I can't speak exactly all the reasons, but I know that's not the fact. I would say we tend to be more short-term based. We want to get results as quickly as possible. So we may speculate and we may take shortcuts, which we all know is risky. It's not the best thing to do, but still we do that.
We don't really connect to other culture. We don't really export our culture out, and so people can see who we really are, which is the opposite as like what Japan is doing. Like Japan, they have anime. Korea, they have K-pop. China, we haven't figured out what exactly it is.
Don't hate people for no reason. If you understand this part, the media means nothing to you.
China is developing. We are not the Qing dynasty anymore. So that's the first key message. The second thing would be, during the history, it's always us protecting our land instead of us trying to invade others. We are fine on our space, but someone want to come into our space is an error. And the third one would be, I don't know why, but I feel like in the Western media or in the Western culture, there is a strong feeling that we are rivals, not friends. That might be something that came from the Cold War period because of the communism or the capitalism, but I don't think it's the real case right now. And for a globalization future, it is always opportunity to be cooperating into a better future. So to make the cake big before you want to divide the cake.
So I think for us, what we can do is to just, don't say something that you don't know on social media, because what you say on social media are gonna impact other people. So imagine if someone who just never know this kind of issue, but they saw your thoughts first as a first impression. If your opinion is wrong, they're gonna follow your opinion. So I think for us, like how to deal with this kind of racism in the society is that we can talk about it, but just be critical and be careful what you say on the social media. If you decided to show your role for this issue, then just speak about it. But if you're not ready for it, then don't say anything.
So I don't have a view about what we should advise the government to do, because we are not in a position to do that. It's something that can be dealt with immediately. It takes time. It takes maybe 10 years or 20 years for not only the government to work with each other always on a mutual beneficial, which is impossible, or a constructive manner, but also the citizens of each country to understand better the other country's culture and the other country's national conditions, because they will be the future politicians. They will understand better the connection between Asia and Australia that is so important, which may actually determine some parts of their economy. And no one wants to see the economy going down. And this is the issue happening apparently in Australia, at least in Australia, of course in China as well.
I would say as a community, we definitely need to raise our voice. As a community, it is necessary to adapt to the local society as well, because we are not just isolated. Talk to your friends, let them know about your culture. Don't feel ashamed of it. I mean, there's some shameful parts, but there's also lots of good parts about it, right?
I don't have much understanding about political side, but I do understand why the relationship was going on a downturn right now. Yeah, focus more on the bilateral trade instead of like the political side. I would say understanding each one's no touch point, like 就是了解两个 community 之间他们的雷区。我这句用中文啊，然后我后面用英文解释。So that would be my first suggestion, because I do feel like sometimes people saw this news on the media and they just ask someone from that community without considering their sort of non-touch points in their conversation. Understanding about others' culture and also be able to communicate with them about your culture.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video and the last 3 videos. Here I'd like to thank Michael, Angela, Alexil, Mary and Natalia for being part of this project, as well as Grace, currently laughing behind the camera because I messed up so many times. I'm actually moving back to China in a couple months. After spending over 10 years in Australia, I am going to miss everything I've learned and experienced here and the friendship I made. It's a pretty tough decision. Part of me is pretty sad. Part of me is also excited to go to Asia, go to China, especially after the signing of RCEP. I think Asia is going to be the place to be in the next couple of years. So if you ever come to Asia, hit me up, send me a message, let's catch up. If you're still in Australia and you would like to catch me up before I leave, let's go out for a coffee. Once again, I would like to thank all of my friends who have come up to me in real life or just on social media for your kind words and support messages. And I really appreciate them, given how kind of tricky or difficult it is to tell a different story these days. Anyway, if you would like to connect, you may find me on LinkedIn or Wechat. I have left the links in the description box below. Once again, thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next project.